Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Great news, my friends. It's time to inhale that new star smell as we continue our journey through Star Trek: The Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 4, Code of Honor. Can't wait to get into this one, friends, so wait no longer, we shall. If you could do me a quick favor and hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and it allows me to alert you next time it's time for Star Trek: The Next Generation or any of our sci-fi fare. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But my dear, dear friends, all that is then and this is now. And what is now? Now it's time for Code of Honor, the 4th episode of the very first season of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go!
Source of a rare vaccine needed on Federation planet Styrus 4. Friendly visit and open treaty negotiations to acquire this medicinal.
Interesting.
Lieutenant Yar calling from Cargo Bay 1, sir. Standing by to beam the Ligonian welcoming party aboard.
Ligonians.
On our way. You have the helm, Mr. Data.
So is that her uniform, Troy, Counselor Troy? I don't see anybody else with it, so.
But their history has remarkable similarities to ours.
A highly structured society, and they're exceedingly proud.
Okay.
They've insisted on using their own transporter device, sir.
It's their way, Lieutenant.
Okay.
This is Captain Picard aboard the Starfleet
X-Men.
vessel Enterprise. Please do us the honor of visiting our vessel.
Hell yeah.
I am Lieutenant.
Captain Jean-Luc Picard. And my security officer, Lieutenant Natasha Yar.
Natasha.
This is my secondary, Hagon, a sample of the vaccine.
My duty, Lieutenant. I'm sorry, but I'm required to
Out
inspect.
of my way.
Whoa.
How interesting.
If I may suggest, sir, no apology. In their view, it
Yeah.
would weaken us.
Damn, she is so...
Unless you care to examine it further.
Absolutely not. This vaccine sample is a gift of life, and we are honored at receiving it.
Troy is so good to have in these things.
I ask forgiveness. They are strange alien things. You bear no fault. But the female may be exactly what I have needed.
Okay, so obviously, I guess it's women second-class citizens, or are they relegated to different, like, areas of expertise? Because they seemed very shocked that Natasha Yar was our security chief, but not necessarily that she was, I mean, they didn't act the same way about Troy. So I'm wondering if it's more of a, like, designation of gender to specific occupations or specific skills, maybe. And these are the Ligonians. I don't think we've had them before.
Earth culture we all admire. On behalf of the Federation, therefore, I would like to present this token of our, from China's Song dynasty, 14th century.
13th century, sir.
Ah, yes, indeed.
I stand corrected.
We are pleased. We of Ligon have been apprehensive about strangers. Yet, we possess something you do not. A vaccine.
Yeah, the medicine.
If you respect our customs, we will be friends. And we will make the antidote available to all who need it.
I mean, to be fair, can't we synthesize it now?
Require respect from us. I'm sure that you will see it.
Surrounded by such friendship, I feel no need for my guards.
If there is anything else, any further courtesy.
We have heard how they are used to train your officers.
And used for many other things, too. Commander Riker, perhaps you and Counselor Troy would demonstrate.
Lieutenant Yar to do so, Captain. Some demonstration of defense training?
We've noticed you're intrigued with her having security responsibilities.
With us, it is the duty of women only to own the land, and the duty of men to protect.
Okay, so there are definitely different occupations or different titles that can only be, it seems anyway, in their society, can only be had by specific genders. That was interesting. It's like she did something to it.
It won't move again until my action is activated.
You can create people without a soul?
There were photons, right, Light?
A force like that cannot possibly come from an image, Lutan.
Then you will show me, Hagon.
I was going to say, try it out.
Your skill impresses me. I like you.
Okay.
We've had a good beginning, Lieutenant.
In your Federation terms,
Oh,
the Carter Bridge, red alert.
I like how calm Jean-Luc was there. You know, red alert. She's been taken.
Make contact there and on all hailing frequencies. This is the Enterprise to Lutan and the Ligonian government. You have committed an unfriendly act. We insist that you reply immediately.
We're going to rain hellfire down on you.
Set them for a display blast 1,000 meters short of the planet's surface.
Set.
Fire.
Woo! Wouldn't one have worked?
Opinion, Counselor. Will they injure Lieutenant Yar?
They seem mainly curious. In the case of Lutan, however, I did feel other needs.
He's attracted to her.
Some sexual attraction from all the males. Lieutenant Yar is physically very attractive, but with Lutan, something more like avarice or ambition.
Really? Is she like a prize?
Other comments?
If I may, sir, one of the things about them in the briefing studies was their respect for patients.
Maybe we should sit and wait them out.
No, thank you.
Stardate 41235. Over a full day of waiting with no response from Lutan.
A day?
We are now testing whether they are aware of our sensors probing them. So far, we believe we have pinpointed Lutan's government compound.
Wesley peeking in from the turbo lift.
I'm a physician. I've seen death, but not on the scale this could mean.
You were testing if you can replicate the vaccine.
And we can't. The sample
Why?
works fine when used as an injection, but it becomes unstable when we try to replicate it.
I wonder if that's like a defense thing. They made it so it can't be replicated.
Where are the calluses we doctors are supposed to grow over our feelings?
Perhaps the good ones never get them.
Well said.
May I speak to you about my son, Wesley?
What? Oh, yes.
What? Not him.
Speaking as a mother, of course. He seems quite knowledgeable. You'll remember you ordered him to stay off of the bridge.
Well, the doors aren't closed, Wesley. We know you're in there.
Why don't you sit at ops next to Lieutenant LaForge?
Sir? Sir?
Sir?
Is the whole ship deaf? Sit down over there, young man. Temporarily.
I do like how the stations move.
Let's hear the analysis.
It is a highly structured society in which people live by strict codes of honor. For example, what Lutan did is similar to what certain American Indians once did called counting coup. That is from an obscure language known as French.
French language, for centuries on Earth, represented civilization.
Jean-Luc?
Indeed. But surely, sir,
I suggest you drop it, Mr. Taylor.
counting coup could be something as simple as touching an enemy with a stick in battle or taking something from him and escaping. It was considered extremely heroic.
And it fits Lutan's personality profile as well. He has an abnormally high need for achievement. Self-image to him is a function of what he thinks he's achieved. Those who set their standards too high can't kill to meet them.
Why Tasha?
As a Starfleet security officer, she may have represented his riskiest prize.
It's interesting.
Transmission from planet surface, sir. Main viewer on.
Well, Lieutenant, what do you want?
You will display your image, please.
What is required is an image of Lieutenant Yar. Well and...
Are you making demands, Captain?
Yeah, I am.
According to the Ligon Code of Honor, Lutan has done what he set out to do, achieve recognition for being daring and bold.
We've studied this in some depth now, sir. The proper thing for you to do now is to ask to get Tasha back.
Oh, Jean-Luc.
We ask that you now please return her.
Then come visit us, Captain, and we shall return her to you.
Commander,
Yeah, Troy, what did you get out of that?
we believe it would be preferable if the captain led this away party.
Their customs concerning guests make it much preferable.
And I'm very much against that idea.
They don't want you down there, bud.
Except that Ligonian custom makes it clear that a visiting leader becomes an honored guest.
But I warn you, if you get hurt, I'll put you on report, Captain.
I would have liked to have seen Jean-Luc there to see if he smiled at all. We needed a reaction shot from him. Like I said, I am shocked by how gruff Picard is. I never, I don't know what I was thinking.
If you are willing to ask for Lieutenant Yar's return tonight, in front of all, honor will be satisfied.
Yeah, this is a flex, a power flex.
One can see the importance of honor here, sir.
Okay.
Have you been treated well, Lieutenant?
Fine, Captain. But they're showing some signs of wear.
Oh my God, I didn't even see his eye.
The festivities for her return to you are in preparation. Shall we retire till then?
Until tonight, Lieutenant.
Well, I tell you what I'd be doing. I'd be looking around for something of his that I could steal to even the old playing field.
I am here in peace to ask for the return of Lieutenant Yar.
But now that the moment has come, I find that I cannot part with her.
Well, that's got to be against their customs then. Yeah.
You speak of a code of honor. What you are saying now, according to our customs, is called an act of war.
I challenge your right of supersedence.
Trial of 7.
Natasha Yar, I challenge you. A struggle to the death.
No, the challenge is unequivocally refused.
Then you shall have no treaty, no vaccine, and no Lieutenant Yar!
Thank God Jim's not here.
We've been informed of the challenge to Lieutenant Yar and are maintaining combat readiness round the clock. We are probing Luton's compound deeply with our sensors now, still unnoticed.
We can't do anything, though. We can't. I mean, beaming her back up would be easy, but we need the vaccine.
Did you have any idea, Lieutenant, that Luton was suddenly going to announce he wanted you for his first one?
No.
No, sir.
Tell me what you know about this.
Nothing, sir.
But it was a thrill. Lutan is such a basic male image. And having him say he wants you.
Yes, of course, it made me feel good when he...
There's nothing wrong with that.
We're all being manipulated, Lieutenant. Myself most of all.
How simple all this would be without the Prime Directive.
That thought had passed through my mind, Counselor.
How does the Prime Directive play into this? Are they not spacefaring? Did I miss that? I mean, they have teleporters or transporters.
Plague on Styrus 4 has flared up, out of control.
All right, so we need it.
Captain Picard, come in.
I know I can win. Not that I'd take her life, of course, but I'd be glad to embarrass her. The idea of accusing me of taking...
If anything, even worse than we'd heard.
Which means they desperately need the vaccine, sir. And I know I can win this challenge.
You have nothing to prove here, Lieutenant.
But the vaccine is important in this case, sir.
Counselor, you're the last person I'd expect to argue in favor of accepting the challenge.
Yeah.
The odds are very good. She'd defeat Lutan's wife easily.
The odds are.
Troy is incredible to have in these situations. The season 1, and I've been noticing this the whole time, the season 1 uniforms must not have collars. I have the wrong uni. It's bugging me.
It's a great pity you began by abducting my security officer, Lieutenant, because I should tell you, I do admire the hospitality you offer here.
I am in the grip of forces you do not understand.
Some of it I do understand. She is a rather lovely female.
What do you know of needs and feelings?
Almost nothing.
I see.
But it puzzles me. If you feel like that for Tasha, why have you challenged her to a fight to the death? But you are also a man of great importance and wealth.
Great importance, perhaps. But he did...
Oh, there it is. No wealth, eh?
Either way the challenge goes.
A code of honor protects one, Captain, like a magic cloak.
He's trying to get rid of his first one.
And may your cloak bring you all you deserve.
Well said, all you deserve. Cool, I'm down with it. So it seems to me, and I'm probably wrong, but it seems to me that he's trying to get rid of his first wife, I guess, so he can marry again and maybe get more land, maybe, or inherit her land. I don't know.
We need to know as much as possible about Ligonian armaments.
Which makes it important to know which of these weapons are to be used.
And that won't be known until combat begins.
Is it randomly selected?
But I am a Starfleet Academy graduate, which means understanding the Prime Directive, sir.
That is, ironically, what this is about. Customs here, their code of honor.
So this Prime Directive is almost like a respect for a culture, not necessarily contaminating it, right?
I'm entitled to ramble on about something everyone knows. Carry on.
I don't. I ramble on. I haven't heard about this particular way or version or reading.
My acceptance had nothing to do with Lieutenant.
It has everything to do with Lieutenant.
I fight for the vaccine.
The truth is I will kill you if I can.
All right. Well, good talk.
And believe me, I can. There's nothing else to say.
In my world, it's a greater honor to refuse.
You are on our world.
That went well. That went really, really well.
Captain, I'm your counselor. You brought me with you to Ligon to be of help.
What is a way out of this?
With the vaccine?
With the vaccine. That's interesting that she quantified it with that.
What about those lengths of metal in the yard outside?
However, joined together, they would make a rectangular square enclosing 121 square meters.
That's amazing. He got that from eyeballing all that stuff.
You still feel that you want to go through with this challenge? You judge your condition good.
Your weapons, Lieutenant Yar. You may choose your size.
What are the weapons? I thought we were supposed to select them from out there, like the pole arms and stuff. The hell is that? Like a flail?
Tasha, don't touch the spines. They're poisoned. If you're not careful, you could kill yourself.
He can see them. Oh, that's awesome. Ah, there are the poles in the courtyard. Woo! Those lasers? We need like a full breakdown of the rules of the field of play here. I mean, we can't throw her in there with like this shifting death trap.
Captain Picard, faced with the critical need for a vaccine produced on this planet, has permitted Lieutenant Natasha Yar to engage in a fight to the death. I have yet to understand his reasoning or his plan.
Will, I'm with you.
Sit at ops.
You can just come and go as you please now, Wes.
Did the captain understand what you and Geordi reported about these weapons? They're razor sharp, split-second lethal.
I'm here to brief you on what he plans.
We could steal the vaccine. Wouldn't that be considered, I guess, part of the cultural move here? They stole Tasha. Can't we steal the vaccine? I'm sure that would, like, prompt war or something. Is she a lefty, or is it supposed to be worn on the left? She's wearing it left, too.
Let combat continue until there is a victor. It will not be interrupted.
Okay. I certainly don't like the term split-second lethal. That's like, you don't have to even be that great at this. You can be lucky. Inexperienced by Tasha. Nice. Oh, he's dead.
Hold your positions. Return the weapon.
I was gonna say he's dead. It hit him in the chest. We're not even gonna try here? Like, we don't have any, like, anti-venom or something? Good move.
Careful, you read us.
Uh-oh. Beam up. Yep. Nice. Nice. Beverly, go, go, go.
She's growing cold.
Sorry, that clashes with my instructions.
No.
Exactly what do you find unfair, Lieutenant? They fought to the death. You saw the final blows.
She is to become my first one now.
I certainly won't stop her if she cares to claim that honor.
At least all has not been lost.
Okay, so he inherited her lands.
Can we now beam the vaccine aboard?
Oh, yes, of course.
No problem, number one. Send down a medical team.
Complete our business here. We are locked on to you.
I love that Jean-Luc doesn't break eye contact, doesn't blink or anything.
Welcome back, Captain. You're wanted in the lounge.
This way, Jim.
They saved her, I'm assuming.
You violated our agreement. There will be no treaty, no vaccine.
The challenge was carried out. She
died. Yep.
She lives.
I am a physician and saw her die.
And at the instant of death, Lieutenant, A mating agreement dissolved.
Yarina, no.
Even as I battled, Hagon, I heard you calling out for me.
Right.
Yarina, be my first one.
All my land and all my goods. All I have is yours to rule.
Awesome.
That's sad for you.
You have
You've lost
nothing.
everything.
I have my honor.
Do you?
Such a waste.
Do you want him?
No,
No, thank you.
there would be complications.
Then I will have you as my number 2.
Ha!
Accordingly.
Ha ha ha!
As you see, Captain, you may excel in technology, but not in civilized behavior.
I like that. That's a good twist. There's way more equality in their culture than what I thought. In fact, you might definitely say it's a little skewed on the side of the females, I would think. They dictate the course of everything.
Wesley, he'd been manning that station for me.
Thanks again for manning one of our bridge stations, Wesley. We'll see that you have another chance.
Yes, sir.
He's like, I'd have been here literally until I passed out.
Set course for Styrus 4, Warp 3.
Course laid in for Styrus 4, sir.
Nice. Good twist in that one. I like that quite a bit. All right, everybody, we just finished watching Star Trek The Next Generation Season 1, Episode 4, Code of Honor, and the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, everybody, we just finished Code of Honor, the 4th episode of the very first season of Star Trek The Next Generation. Again, I love stuff like this. I love being able to watch different cultures, being surprised, really, because you think you get a read on them, much like the crew of the Enterprise here thought they had a read on it and everything, but it wasn't until that final reveal at the end where it's in fact the wife is the one that bestows any type of authority, any type of kind of I guess the sharing of the wealth, because they said that only the women could own the land and the men were used to protect it, I think was their exact words. That is a really interesting little twist, because initially the way we're looking at it is he's ordering her about, you know, or at the very least, and he was doing this, painting her into a corner to challenge Tasha, and thus if she died, he would inherit her lands. I mean, the great thing about this one is it reminded me a lot of a TOS episode. You know, you're dealing with a brand new culture, you have a problem, we have somebody that's in need of something from this brand new culture. And again, a lot of times it's either a vaccine of some kind. You know, we had how many times did we have that in TOS? Bit of technology maybe, or it just, we need something from this culture. And so we have to play nice to get where we are. I will segue into this. In this particular instance, and I think that this was reflective in the idea that everybody was like, Captain, we think you should go down to the planet. And I know that it's because Jean-Luc is in charge, but at the same time, I think it was also, we don't want Will around this situation. He might not react the way that you would react. And I can't help it, everybody. I said I wasn't going to do this, but it's almost like the archetype for Will Riker is Jim Kirk. And the archetype for Jean-Luc Picard, I haven't experienced yet, at least me. I mean, he's very diplomatic. And again, I saw a lot of that in the movies. You know, he's very good at negotiations and things like that. And you can definitely see that he's a wordsmith. He can get in there. He knew the greeting for everything. I mean, really, really well done, really kind of prepared when he goes into these types of things. The thing that I am still so shocked by, though, is that Picard he's a hard ass. I did not see that coming. I really, honest to God, did not see that coming. For whatever reason, I always thought that Picard was sort of, and again, I made mention of this before, that he's not like a happy Jack. He's not somebody that's like, oh, I'm a good-natured captain. I'm everybody's buddy. That's not what I thought. I thought, though, that he was more of, and not gentle or anything like that, that he was, I guess, more cerebral. Like he was just more intellectual. He was, but in so that he wasn't cold. I thought that he was going to be, almost more theatrical, more charismatic, where he could talk to, again, he was just somebody that everybody liked. And so he was in this position of being a negotiator or a diplomat or anything. He's not, though. He really isn't. I mean, he absolutely can turn it on and off. But for the most part, he's very direct, almost like clipped speech with everybody that's in the crew. Wesley, yeah, carry on. You know, like he's just, everything is just really, really, yeah, it's the least that I can say in this exchange to get my point across. Awesome. But then he can throw in the flowery language. He can throw in, just being in there and doing all the pomp and circumstance that's needed. Like, how many times in this did we have a member of their culture? Oh, well, very well said. Oh, how eloquently that you put this together. Oh, you honor us with your speech, all that type of stuff. So he's good at it. It's just, I'm not sure how much he wants to be good at it. You know what I mean? I have this like beginning persona that is being built up for Picard where it's like, yeah, I'm really good at this, but damn, I hate it. I'd rather just be a curmudgeon, or at the very least, like he's like, not an introvert. That's wrong, but he's just a very like kind of, I'm into my own shit type of guy who he's really good at like the extroverted type of stuff, the diplomacy we talked about, negotiations, but that's not his thing. He's like cursed to be good at that, and he's just not innately, that's not who he is. And again, I've only ever seen, this is my 4th episode if you consider Encounter at Farpoint 2 episodes. So again, these are very, very just initial reactions to him. I'm sure the character will grow. And maybe that's what I saw in the movies, is that like several years worth of growth, because we mentioned it before. I don't know where in the timeline. I know that several seasons at the very least, I suspect several seasons of the show kind of are in the bag before we actually are in the can, before we actually have one of the movies. So I'm probably seeing a more advanced, both in Patrick Stewart's understanding of Picard and really the creative's understanding of Picard. So I am probably more experienced with like a more evolved character than where we've started. I have to admit, I actually really like this. If this is how he, like, again, it's not like he's an asshole. It's not that. He's just clipped. He's just gruff. It's a surprise. I'm going to leave it at that. I've been talking way too long about Jean-Luc. It's just a surprise and a pleasant one. And I'll end with this. The similarities that we mentioned before with the TOS episode, I think, and I'd like to know all of my TOS fans out there, the ones that watched either in syndication in the 70s or part of the original run, that's always been such an interesting question that I think, I think about it all the time when I'm starting in on these. How did you all feel about The Next Generation? Was there an idea like, oh yeah, more Star Trek? Or was there like, it's completely different cast? What's going on here? Are they trying to replace my guys? Or is it a combination of both? I'm assuming it's probably a combination of both, like excitement, but also fear that this is going to be a brand new thing. That's what I'm experiencing. My whole thing is I loved TOS so much that I've been enjoying the hell out of TNG so far. At the same time, I'm nowhere near ready to compare the two, or because I'm just going to say I like the original series. I've had too much experience with it. So I'm going to leave that on the shelf until I get at least as deep in TNG as I was, through the run of TOS and Star Trek Continues. But I will say this, because this episode reminded me of something from TOS, I think that was probably a good route to go. I guess the more similar the missions could be, maybe that is the bridge between TOS and TNG. Keep the adventures the same. And we had mentioned in The Naked Now of the Naked Time. That might be the formula. That might be the special sauce, I think, for this. Well, regardless, my friends, I could sit here and pontificate on the fact that, boy, oh boy, Star Trek's fun. And Jean-Luc could potentially be a curmudgeon, all I'd like, but there's so much more to find out. We had director Russ Mayberry. We had a lot of the people that we need to know. What went on behind the side of that? On Russ's side of the camera, what were the special, are there any secrets? Are there any, little bits of trivia that we could find out? I certainly don't know them. But I know one person who knows it all and basically says he knows it all the time. Q? Greetings, mon capitaine, and welcome to another edition of Q&A. Friends, this is where, after having watched and reacted to a Next Generation episode of Star Trek, I like to dig a little bit deeper and find out what went on behind the cameras, because as we've found out, the story behind the cameras, especially in this one, is often just as intriguing as the one they put in front of the cameras. But to keep myself from wandering off into the weeds for a couple hours, I've given myself 5 topics to explore. The first, writer and director. Who were they? The second, guest stars. Did we have any? The third, of the core cast or the big 9, who was present? The fourth, Production notes, the spiciest of the categories. And the fifth and final topic, a memorable quote from this episode. Let's get started. All right, my dear friends, and now it's time for our very first category, writer and director. Who were they? Well, our writers for this episode were Catherine Powers and Michael Barron. And our directors for this episode were Russ Mayberry, who was the credited director for this episode. And then there is Les Landau, who is uncredited for this particular episode. I'm going to save all that until we get down into production notes, friends. It's juicy in the worst possible way. Let's move on. All right, everybody, and now it's time for our second category, guest stars. Did we have any? We do have 3 of note, my friends. Let's start at the top, so to speak, as we have Jesse Lawrence Ferguson as Lutan, we have Carol Selman as Urena, and we have James Lewis Watkins as Hagon. All right, everybody, we're getting closer to the production notes. Trust me, this one's interesting. Let's move on. All right, everyone, and for our third topic of the core cast, or the Big Nine, who was present? Well, first off, our Big Nine consists of Picard, Riker, Troy, Data, Geordi, Yar, Worf, Beverly Crusher, Wesley Crusher. Nailed it. Everybody, all hands present and accounted for, except for Worf. Let's move on. All right, my friends, and now for the production notes of this episode. All joking aside, boy oh boy, was this a shit show. And again, a lot of negative connotations happened behind the camera. I am not going, well, you know what? Let me just say this. The word allegedly is going to be used quite a bit. And I can't say anything more beyond that because every place that I looked up all of these production notes, most of these little bits of fact and air quote trivia are, I guess you could say, unproven. But I will tell you what I found out and allow you to make your own decision. Let's get started. All right, my friends, and let's get started with the first of our production notes. Okay, so Powers and Barron, the 2 that wrote the Code of Honor, let's just, it's no other way to say this. Their script was completely changed. And when I mean completely changed, I mean completely changed. And it's a wonder that they are still the credited script writers on this one. It blows my mind that they are still the ones on it. Me talking about it doesn't do you any favors. Let me tell you what the differences are from their script to what we just watched. First and foremost, the planet that we went to was not Ligon 2, it was Tellus. And the Telesians were actually a reptilian race. And so this reptilian race had a culture that was very similar to that of the Japanese samurai. Now, and further lore that would have been explored in the actual episode as written, it was going to be said that James T. Kirk actually had a confrontation and had fought against Lutan's grandfather, which presented this a kind of unknown but very, very ill will feeling towards the Federation, giving them some motivations for the actions that would transpire. Now, another difference in this one is that Urena's uncle, the king, was actually poisoned by Lutan, something that we would have not seen initially, but would have been given that information towards the end in the third act. In addition to that, the away team was imprisoned, and for the majority of the episode, they were in the prisons of what would have been Telesian, or the Teles race, the reptilians, and it was only with a sympathetic other member of that reptilian race, the Telesians, that they were able to escape. And it was because of the association with that character that they would begin to kind of mend the fences between the Federation and the planet. We don't have that character, and thus a very important part of the script process or the story process is lost. Okay, and so with all of those things, we can see that it's just a smidge different from what we watched. But how did these things all change, you ask, Q? Let's move on. All right, everyone, and now for our next production note. Okay, so there's no other way to say this, so let me just go ahead and tell you. I'm just going to read to you what I have found out about this. Allegedly, director Russ Mayberry was fired mid-production by Roddenberry and the studio. Allegedly, Mayberry was the one responsible for completely changing several major aspects of the script. It was Mayberry's decision, allegedly, to exclusively cast African-American actors as the planet that they were going to, whether that had been Talesian at that time or Ligor. He decided complete African-American casting for the planet. In addition to that, it was allegedly reported that it reached Gene Roddenberry that Russ Mayberry was being very, very rude to the actors that he had hired. He was allegedly saying things that were terrible, that were racist, that were just, argumentative, combative. And it was Gene Roddenberry came forward and allegedly midweek told him to hit the bricks. Now, of course, they had already shot everything. Everybody had been hired. They were 3-4 days into production at this time. And so the first assistant director, Les Landau, took over. Les took over to much acclaim. It was, allegedly, even for something positive, he was given a lot of credit for being able to at least get the episode shot, so to speak. And he was also given a great credit for basically cooling the temperatures that were on set at that time as things had begun to run very, very hot. I can understand why. So, friends, of all of the shows that I have done in TOS with Q&A, and just a handful of ones that I've done for the next generation, this one is by far the worst that I have heard as far as what went on behind the cameras. All joking aside, normally we have time constraints and things like this. This must have been a horror show. And allegedly must have been a horror show. But boy, oh boy, friends, it did not stand the test of time. But I will say this, the people in the production that were professionals and got through this, a tip of the cap to each and every one of you, because that is it's a very difficult situation to be in, and only true professionalism will get you through that. So a credit to the first assistant director, all the hired cast members for being professionals and getting the job done despite allegedly some very, very severe hindrances. And now, friends, just for another production note to follow up on all of that one, Les Landau did take over as the first assistant director, took over the chief direction of the episode several days into production. He requested that he remain uncredited for this one. I find it interesting, though, that they decided to credit Russ Mayberry, the original director, for this episode. I don't know. I have an answer for this one. I actually looked to see if there was any debate about whether or not this would go uncredited, but I didn't find anything. So allegedly, all of this was set into motion, and I'm sure probably there were some agency type of things put in here as far as what they were allowed to do with crediting. I couldn't find any verification for that, so I will leave that up to you, friends, that Les Landau, the first assistant director of this, who ended up seeing this episode all the way through, remained uncredited, and the original director, Russ Mayberry, stayed credited. What do you all think? Let's move on. Now for our next production note, friends. If you haven't guessed yet, the cast really didn't like this episode either. Critics hated it, the audience hated it, and the cast really hated it. Now, I looked through everything just to make sure that I was doing my due diligence to see if there was any type of positive that came out of this. And there was one, and that's our last production note. But with this one, I will let you know this. Of all the production members and cast members that were interviewed specifically about Code of Honor, I found very few that were neutral. And so I think that the best way to sum up the cast attitude of Code of Honor, or really the general attitude of Code of Honor, is to quote our own Will Riker #1, Jonathan Frakes, as he said he believes this episode to be and I quote, a racist piece of shit. Let's move on. And now for the last of our production notes, friends. And first and foremost, I'd like to credit my good buddy for looking these up for me, because he goes in and finds a lot of this information and gives it to me, or tells me where I can look without giving away too many things. And this one in particular was given to me because there are certain spoilers associated with it. Let me tell you what it is. There was one good thing that came out of Code of Honor, at least it's kind of universally accepted to be good, and that is the score written by composer Fred Steiner, who is also part of the original series. This original score for Code of Honor is considered one of the very best early scores. Now, again, it would be used several more times, and my buddy went ahead and said that it is used several more times, but of course didn't tell me what episodes or when or anything like that, saving me from potential spoilers. So a tip of the cue cap to my buddy, and finally, allegedly, production notes are complete. Let's move on. All right, my dear friends, and now for our fifth and final category, a memorable quote from this episode. And before I get into the quote, let me just say this. I am glad this one is over. Not fun to sift through all this negativity and all of these horrible things that have happened. So I'm very glad to be leaving. And so I thought I would leave us with a quote that sort of sums up the way I'm feeling at this moment. And I quote from Hagon, "As you see, Captain, you may excel in technology, but not in civilized behavior." Thus ends another installment of Q&A. Until such time as you and I can play with our good buddy Jean-Luc Picard again, behave yourselves.